don't know which print. Huh. I can think good morning. It seems like whenever good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Brandy, Sandra, Meryl. It seems like whenever I look away and I don't see any comments and I'm looking for something else that I'm going to sew, that's when everybody magically appears. It's like the weirdest thing. Or like if I'm looking down and then all of a sudden I see all of you guys. I love seeing you guys every morning. Um Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, if you guys are on the West Coast or the South or the Panhandle or the Midwest states, it seems like everything except the West Coast, um, we need to get prepared. There's a lot of snow happening. There might be even snow in Louisiana areas, and Louisiana is definitely a state that I'm worried for. They are not prepared for snow. Neither is Florida. They don't have salt trucks and everything, and it's kind of hard to have other states bringing the salt trucks when the other states are having major snow as well. So if you're in a state that's about to have snow, please, please make sure you have enough water. Um, make sure you have, make sure you have enough blankets and things like that in case there's a power outage. Please go check on your vulnerable people. Of I know this sounds weird, but if you see homeless people, if you have like a consignment store or a Habitat for Humanity. Sometimes you can buy blankets. Passing out some blankets to people that are less fortunate might help protect their life. And also, if you know that there's shelters around, just writing down the address and the telephone number with the blankets can help their life. If you see stray animals or pets that are not indoors, please call your animal control people because dogs are very vulnerable in the weather. And if you see cats, the same thing. We are responsible, even though we don't want to be responsible for things. Please, please, please check on the most vulnerable people and animals. Um, and if you're not a state that usually gets snow, I know snow shovels are impossible. See if you have regular shovels, make sure they're out of their shed and things along that line so that way you can be protected. Um, the elderly is very, very important. Ask them if you need them to pick up prescriptions or anything like that, because the chances are, if we get 4 inches of snow and there's no plows or there's no salt trucks, it could be days before anybody can get out and the roads are clear. So make sure if you can be neighborly and say, hey, do you need me to pick up medications, water, something for you? Go for it. Like today's the day in the morning because the fall it's going to start snowing in this afternoon. And the only reason I'm doing this, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, is just that the the if COVID told us anything, that we need to be together as one. Um, and just one act of kindness can just change the life of one person. And I'm really here. I'm for the pets because like dogs, they're my soft spot. I don't believe we deserve them. So if you see a stray dog, call animal control so that way they can take the dogs in. And if you're in a spot that doesn't have snow, I am thinking, praying, sending good thoughts to you because I know you guys don't have salt trucks, and right now there it's hard for them to pull from other states when other states are underneath winter advisories as well. Yeah, in my area, they're expecting only 48 inches to snow, but it snows in where we come from, so we're used to the salt trucks, the plows, and everything. But when we were seeing like Louisiana, Alabama, and things like that, we're like they're not prepared. They don't have it's not part of their system to have salt trucks. And normally, like last time they had snow in Alabama, they were able to pull trucks from like Tennessee, North Carolina, and stuff like that, but they're not going to be able to this time because these states are underneath winter advisories as well. So just something to think about, people. Um, okay, Naughty American. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn you off. So going on a timeout real quick. Um, Columbia, Maryland. Yeah, I'm in Columbia, Maryland. It snows a lot. When the wintertime, we're used to it. The only thing is it normally doesn't snow that much in January. We always get in the middle of of winter. I think a lot of people forget winter just started on December 21st. On the 21st, this Tuesday, we'll make it 1 month into winter. So winter is still in its infancy. And so normally in February and towards the beginning of March is when we get our snow. Um so the timing is off, but we have the trucks, we have the salt, we have all that stuff. We're the East Coast, so we're prepared. We're not like prepared like Boston and stuff like that, but we're prepared. It's the other states that are not prepared, like the fact that there's supposed to be 3 to 6 inches in Louisiana, that is bonkers. They're not used to snow at all. So this is some stuff that we haven't seen for a very, very long time, and I'm following the weather, not necessarily on TV. There are a couple news guys that I follow on YouTube, and they're very professional, and they are following Canadian trackers, German trackers, and the ones that we have here in America, and they've been spot on every single time. If you want, I can when I'm done with this, I could put their links to their channels into my description box so you can watch them. They're very professional. They actually have very soothing voice. I don't understand how a network hasn't picked them up to put them on a channel. They're very spot on, and they're giving hour by hour, minute by minute. So if something changes on one of the Dopplers, they're giving you updates, and they have been really spot on. So I've watched these two gentlemen, and they're just pretty awesome. Yes, there's so much there's gonna be ice, everything, it's just pretty crazy, and the thing is the area that we need the cold and the wet is California. This is how we know climate control is real. The fact that, like, there's snow going in in parts of Florida, there's gonna be snow in the Panhandle states. This is nuts. This is absolutely bonkers. Oh, you just adopted 2 great kittens? Oh, bless your heart, man. Bless your heart, that is awesome. I love okay, so there's also this lady, I don't know how she does it. There's this lady I follow, and she takes rescue kittens and, like, baby kittens. Like, I learned so much from her, like, I did not know that kittens have to get stimulated to use the restroom when they're that little, and, she fosters kittens until they're able to drink on their own and they can get adopted, and I don't know how she does it. I get attached to things really quickly. So she does these miraculous things and she shares it with the internet so that way people can be informed in case they find a kitten that's under 4 weeks and all that stuff like that. I have learned so much from her. And I'm allergic to like the saliva that's on cats and dander. So like I'll start sneezing and then I'll start getting hives and I get hives on my face, but if the hives on my face gets bad, it starts going into my like my top of the roof of my mouth, my tongue, and sometimes it goes into my throat. It all depends on each cat is different. I've been around some cats and I had no allergic reaction whatsoever, and there's other cats that I do. Um, but I think they're very intelligent animals, and I love the fact that they have like their own personality and they're so wise. They're so wise beyond it. They're wise, and that's why in a lot of cultures that they're, they're like so many different things, like in a lot of Egyptian cultures, like they're one of the gatekeepers to hell, hear me out. They're not negative. They're so knowledgeable that they can tell who's supposed to be there and who's not supposed to be there. Um, like they're just a very miraculous animals, and I think they know more than we do. So good morning, Christine. Let's see. Yeah, the Texas is really concerning me because one of my close friends who I met through Facebook during the strike time before COVID, and we were just talking about how long we've been friends now since COVID. Because when COVID first happened in 2019, if you you got some friends that you got through Facebook, you have now known your friend almost five to almost 6 years now. So when there was so magical in Texas, she was kind enough to like let me stay there and we would drive into Texas. It was like an hour and some odd change every day. And we were bonding. But that particular time in Texas, it was super cold, and I did not understand their cold. Now, I'm used to, like, in February, 27 degrees, 14 degrees again, because I live in Maryland, but their cold was different. It felt like have you guys seen Games of Thrones? Like, I imagine this is what, like, White Walkers felt like. It felt like shards of ice was cutting my face. Their cold was so dry that it was, like, literally painful to walk to point A to point B. Like, it was very uncomfortable, and I understand why people in Texas lose their mind when they have these below average temperatures because it is super uncomfortable. It takes forever for your car to defrost, and then people do not know how to drive on the roads. So, that state always worries me when there's a winter advisory because most of the time they're used to having, above 40 degrees and more. And I'm also worried about, Florida because a lot a lot of Florida states a lot of part of the Florida is freezing. This particular guy that I'm following on the news channel on YouTube, he was talking about people that have a Orlando, Florida ticket, it's like they have Disneyland tickets. He said they're gonna be absolutely miserable, today, tomorrow, pretty much this week, whoever has them. And it was pretty interesting because when you look at the news, no one ever talks about that. But Florida has an influx on, tourist spots because it's usually not too cold, but cold for people that live there. But like if you come from like Texas or, a state that's warmer and you're going there and it's 40 degrees, you're like, yay, this is, flip flop weather, right? But now that's going to be like unbearably cold. You're not going to enjoy being at Disneyland, and you think about it, you're not gonna get a refund on these tickets. So, it's he's pretty interesting. He has, like, a different take on thing. He's not one of those people that takes like, I'm in New York, it's colder here than where you are in Texas. He's kinda like what I explained to you, that Texas has their own version of cold, same with Florida. Everybody has their own state, has a version of cold, and I I've been privileged enough to experience a lot, like, Arizona has their own version of cold. The desert cold is like none other. It goes from balls to the wall hot where you think you're gonna die, to cold that you're just like, "I'd rather deal with the heat." Um, and every state has their own version, and I'm just like, "Please, can we push some of this cold front and this wet, snow and everything just over to California real quick because they desperately need it." So, it's just really interesting. Let's see. Thank you for Christine for being on the trolls. I know, I know. So I like I okay, so I'm hey, if you're on Patreon, I'm gonna be reaching out because for whatever the reason may be, I totally did not realize I have a skill builder tomorrow. We're gonna be learning how to put welt pockets in with zippers. And I want to see if they still want to do it for tomorrow. I had no for some odd reason when I scheduled the date, I did not notice that it was Martin Luther King Day, and I did not know it was Inauguration Day. And I know people might be celebrating either or might be frustrated because of either or. And I can schedule it for another time this week if the majority chooses that. Because for some odd reason, it did not like register in my brain when I was picking dates for for this for the level up thing. I think it's because sometimes when I look at my regular calendar, it doesn't have all the dates on it. That's why I'm starting to convert all over to Natural Nerds calendar. Oh, and there is if so on Thursday, Natural Nerds was the interview that we had for in Patreon, and explaining organization. She was explaining how her biggest sell of bags, what kind of previews that they're going to be having in their um with their what kind of previews that they're going to be having in their particular hold on, let me see if I can pull this thing what kind of previews they're going to be having in their group. Like they're going to have some challenges, and she has free PDFs on different stuff. So she has this planner, which is like the business planner. And in the business planner, there is like, there's different events like the calendar, events, project planners, your notes. She even has like a section for if you do pre-orders. like when you have maintenance your machine so you can write dates and times and whatever. And there's like reference guides. And I'm geeking out because the reference guides actually has like stuff for leather, like from like weights of leather and whatnot. And it has reference to like terminology that we use in the sewing world. This book is not just for business people, but for people that are hobbyists or people that just sell to their immediate family. And it has like every month where you can reflect on what you did and how you want to change. And again, one of the things I like the most is the project planner. I bought this project planner because she has a formula in here how to price out your bags. And I believe whether you're a hobbyist or a business person that you need this book because all I see time and time and again in any form is how much should I charge for my bag? And that is a very intimate question because the formula is going to be different from everyone because it depends if someone is using, pre-order or custom hardware, how long their hours are, and what they charge their own personal rate. So by getting this book, do all this stuff and you can plan out your pricing, as well as she has a section where you take photograph of the finished product, which can start becoming your portfolio when you are out and about, like doing conventions and things like that. You can be like, oh, I made a bag like this, and you can customize things off of that. She gave the Patreon group a coupon code, and I will put the coupon code. She was generous enough to give us a coupon code. I believe it's 20% off for the viewers in for my morning show. So I will put the coupon code in the description box when this is done, so you can go back to it and refer to that. And if you want to purchase either a crafty planner or a the Natural Nerds business planner, you do that. But she also has a really cool digital planner for retreats because that's what we were talking about a lot about too is retreats. Before we were talking about retreats and just solo me and her, and like there it's kind of like a reflection thing, like what did you learn, what did you want from it, how much did the retreat cost. Like it's a very cool thing to have because there's more and more retreats. I feel like the one thing that also happened wonderful after COVID is people started popping out and start doing retreats again, and it's it's a amazing thing. There are so many retreats I wanna go to. I told some of my Patreon peeps I wanna go to see Beverly Johnson, the fairy bra lady. She's in Canada, and she usually has a 3 to 5 day retreats, and she is the master of making bras, and she will teach you how to make bras to fit your size. And there's also a person in Florida, and I can never think of her name offhand, that she'll teach you how to make actual denim like Levi jeans. I'm not talking about the denim that has spandex in it. I'm talking about the denim that doesn't stretch in any direction. And she goes into like crotch steps, sway backs, inseams, like the whole nine yards. Those two things I would love to master because I know how to make garments. I know how to make corsets. I just can't make brassieres. So, I would like to learn how to make some of that. Thank you, Nero. Yeah, it's gonna be cold out here. It's gonna be cold, like, in the it'll be single digits at night. So please, please, please have, like, blankets and stuff like that because sometimes when it gets really, really cold, there could be rolling blackouts, so please have blankets. If you have a backup generator, it's time to pull that bad boy out. If you don't, have tons and tons of blankets, like, tons. And you might want to there's, like, insulation kits that you can get at Home Depot, Walmart, whatever, and they're fairly inexpensive, where you can insulate your windows to keep warmth inside the house. I know, and I know Alaska people always do that. It's colder here than it is there, but, like, that's why I always say each state has their own things of cold because it's very easy for someone to be like, when you guys like, "Oh, Alaska, it's hot here," and we're like if someone in Arizona is like, "You don't know what hot is, 125 degrees here." Every state has their own version of hot and cold and different climates, like humidity and stuff like that. I feel like Maryland's humid, but when I go down to Texas and I have, like, a permanent sweat mustache, I learned that I'm not I don't know what humidity is. Every time I go to Texas, I have, like, a straight up permanent sweat mustache, and it you can ask anybody at Wizardry Stitchery, like, I had, like, a sweat mustache, like, nonstop. There was nothing I could do about it. So I just, embraced it. It was nothing. What could I do? What can I do? It cleaned to, like, the peach fuzz. There was n I can only do so many wiping before I start to get raw. So I have very sensitive skin. Okay. Yeah, so the East Coast is gonna get cold. So Maryland, we're gonna get into the single digits. There's some nights we're gonna get in 4 degrees, 6 degrees, but I remember it being colder. I remember when we first moved out here about 14 years ago or so, and like it was the day of Groundhog's Day, and this is the first time I always watch groundhogs, like the Groundhog Day. I don't know why. I actually want to physically go to the location to see what Phil does. It's a weird thing that is on my bucket list. I have no idea why. Okay, it's just something I've always looked at. I'm fascinated with weather. I think in another life I would have been a storm chaser. I don't know, I'm fascinated with okay. So, they were like, "Oh, it's another 6 weeks of spring." I was like, "Damn it, Phil." Right? So, I'm bundling my kids up like the Christmas story because it was -2 degrees, and the school didn't call out a winter advisory, and right when we were about to hit the door, that's when they said, "No school today." And I was like, "We could have slept in if you would have done this just, like, 2 hours earlier." So, there's been some cold days in Maryland. There's been cold days in every state. So it's just this cold front coming in from Canada is unbelievably bigger than the American models had. The German models and the European models and the Canadian models had it bigger, but the American models, Dopplers did not. So yeah. -20 here in North Dakota. Whoop whoop. You're gonna be cold, man. That's like that is cold. Yeah. So yeah, pipes do too. You're living in a house that has old creaky pipes, you gotta figure out something. Either you're gonna do that slow drip or, I know on our pipes, we have, like, a foam because our pipes are here in the basement, we have, like, a foam aluminum foil situation, but we usually just, like, turn them off because our pipes are, like, the original pipes to this house that was made in 1971, and they're not the best. It's something I know we're gonna have to, like, redo in, like, 5 years. Our neighbors had to do it. I know it. I'm dreading it. I'm literally dreading that situation. Yeah, so I'm teaching so we have skill builders in my Patreon. Without getting into it, it's gonna be a cool welt pocket situation, so that way they can learn a different way to put pockets in so they can one up their bags. What my Patreon platform is that I feel like I have a personal style. I get told a lot people can recognize my bag without seeing my name attached to it or my emblem, my badge, or anything, they can notice it. So what I teach people how to do is modify and how to make certain things a little bit different and how to just make things better. So, or make it just better for them. And then I also like to put unique stuff in the bag so that way I believe the inside of the bag counts because I think the inside of the bag is like your knickers, your bra, and your shapewear, whatever. Your outside doesn't matter if you don't have the right like interior wear. So having the right inside matters. So that goes down to stabilization, pockets, and things like that. So I try to do step up classes so that way they can add or take away and put things into their bags to make them a little bit uniquely different. Yeah, 40s and rain for Orlando, you guys are gonna be like bundle up. It's gonna be cold. See, no blizzard. Yeah, snow day. No snow days in Alaska. I know you guys have like it has to be like straight up blizzard weather. You can't see right in front of you. Like there's those Alaska kids are built tough to last. Like they're you guys are just very different. But there's like no heat advisory days in Arizona. Like it could be 115, 120, and you'll see those kids outside playing. And you're just like, what the it is like this is the devil's playground. What is going on right now? So You should go to a retreat. There's so many retreats right now, and this is the time to start planning and looking. There's so many different ones. The summit was is a good starter retreat if you haven't been to any retreats, and you can kind of get a feel of Lauren's like retreat atmosphere. I think she really knocked it out of the park with her studio. She has it where like if you go to a singular person, like Nikki, she has a retreat with the classic zip around wallet from Maggie 55. And I think that's a really good bag to teach a wallet to teach because a lot of people are intimidated by it. So with her particular retreat, you're gonna get a lot. You're gonna get Nikki as a teacher, you're gonna get Lauren that's gonna help, and then there's gonna be like one or two other people there to help. So there'll be like 16 people in the class, but like 3 to 4 teachers. So you're not gonna be like floundering around like, hey, I need help. And it's a 2-day course, so that way you really get the feel of making each and every step, and you're making the wallet and figuring out the stabilizer and the interfacings for the Maggie 55 wallet is very unique and different from any other wallet that's out there, and it's one of the reasons why it's my favorite wallet because Maggie Sue made that wallet feel like I don't know, like, it's bad and bougie. That's all I gotta say. That wallet's bad and bougie. It's one of my favorite wallets to make. It does take time because there is steps with it, stabilizers and whatnot. So you get that. You get automatic lunch, like, 2 you get 2 lunches, 1 for Saturday, 1 for Sunday. Lauren has like, a coffee bar where it has, like, coffee, tea, and, like, a slew full of snacks, but then here, there's a refrigerator if you don't like coffee or tea with, like, Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, water bottles, all that. If you forget some interfacing or stabilizers, there is tons in the classroom, name tags, and then on top of it, you get to actually shop at Lauren's store. And then you have the camaraderie of having all the people that are in the class that you get to meet, where you get to go to dinner, if you want to dinner and chit and chat with other sewists, and there's different, like sewing stores and different things like that, you can have just fun. It is a experience that I think that everyone should go to, and the summit kinda gives you a taste of that. You're gonna have like, smaller classes, but you get to meet instructors that you probably have seen on Facebook and or on YouTube, like, teaching, like, you get to meet Brittany and, Liz and all these people that, Monica so, like, you get to meet all these people, and they have, like, demos and instructions. They're gonna have, like, bingo. There's even the one that is so cute is Brittany's daughter is gonna be teaching a class too. So, like, they're bringing in a next level person to learn how to sew. Like, they're kind of having another generation there. So I think that's really cool. And the summit is a great place if you want to have your just a taster of like a retreat, but you get to do a little bit more and just be more a little more socializing with other sewists. Um then you have I don't I've never been to the one with Kasaya and Lynn's maid, but I did meet Lynn's maid, during Wizardly Stitchery, and she was really nice, very knowledgeable. She was actually really funny, and I got to sit, like, across from her and, like, hear her talk and everything that I didn't get to be, like, in-depth conversation, but I got good vibes from her. I would go to a retreat from her hands down because she's really knowledgeable. I got to meet Kasaya once at a So Magical, but we didn't get to talk, so I don't know very much about her, but from her, YouTube videos, she's seems very knowledgeable too, so I they have a retreat. Wizardly Stitchery is the creme of the creme. Like, if I got to teach, and I felt like I even teaching wasn't enough, I never felt I cried after I was done teaching there. I didn't think I was a teacher until after that situation. I went into my room, I was on such a high that I didn't know how to come down, so I literally cried. And the owner came in, gave me a hug, gave me ice cream, and made me feel better. You are getting lunch, breakfast, and dinner served to you. You're getting drinks around the clock. It's an all-inclusive trip. You have roommates, you have tons of sewing going on, you have it is a experience if you can go to it. It's gonna be its last one in August. Run, do not walk, get that ticket. I'm telling you, like, I don't know who the teachers are gonna be or anything, that is an experience. We had, like, gumbo, we had, like like, the best foods ever. Like, somebody's literally cooking for you all day, like, all day. It was pretty much amazing. It was, like, one of the best experience I had in 2024, and if I don't get to attend this year, it's okay. I have that in my memory bank as the best thing I've ever went to in 2024. There's so many cool retreats out there, and you should go. Just even if it's something local, just go. Like, you get to meet other stoists, and that alone will make your year because there's not a lot of us. We act like there is, but there's not. We're very, very small in the artist scale. There's not a lot of people that sew when it comes down to being an artist. So go. And then California is doing, the sack bag and sew, and you have so many teachers that are coming out there. Like if I wasn't teaching, I would go because Chris from Simply Classics is coming. She's a phenomenal sewer. Then you have Jess from So Many Creation, who is not like not even the one of the best sewists out there, but she is hilarious. Like she has like one of the best personalities I've ever met, and she just like, hanging with her automatically is a mood lifter. You have Tara from Uh-Oh Creations, and let me tell you about Tara. Tara is the most humble person out there, and she has achieved the most I've ever seen. So, if you watch that TV show on HBO, is it End With Us or End something, or where there's like a zombie apocalypse? Um, and they're about to have a season 2 on there. All the backpacks in that TV show were Tara's. She designed them. She made them. So one of us just did the next level. Like an HBO TV show. Like she is a genius, and then she's gonna be teaching people how to make tennis shoes and all that stuff out there. So like there's so many things going on this year. Save and go and have fellowship with other people that sew. And it's gonna rock your world. No matter which one you go to, you're gonna be like, I had fun. Go into the sew, whatever some don't be nervous, Brandy, have fun. It once you get there, I promise you all your nerves are gonna be gone. People are gonna be like, hey, like I'm a nervous Nelly too, and for some odd reason, when you get in that element with other people that know how to sew, it just all goes away. It just it just all goes away. I don't know why, but it does. Let's see. You're gonna yep, don't be nervous like Christine said. Keep heavy duty blankets in your vehicle. Please do not travel if you don't have to, especially if you're in a state that never has snow. Please, please, please. I'm I implore you, get your traveling in now before the snow comes, because the way they're saying the snow is gonna come in, it's gonna fall like almost like 1 inch an hour. So yeah. What up, Brittany? Yeah, I was telling them about Thea doing her class. What is she teaching exactly? So, oh, two kittens in the morning. I just think it's so sweet. They're not yeah, okay, so I know my kids are off tomorrow, but if the snow falls like the way it is, my school will be like, there's no school on Tuesday. And I'm like, yeah. But I also would drop them off and pick them up because that cold in the morning, being 6 degrees, you can't be like, yeah, go to school, walk. It's automatically dropping you off and picking you up. Let's see. Yeah, retreats are so fun. You're taking Nikki's class? Yes. If Nikki's class didn't sell out the way I would do it, I would take it. I love making class around classic zip around wallet. Um, like one group that I stalk on Facebook is Maggie 55s. I have like every pattern she ever done. Oh, there's so many like Sweet Juliet is my favorite pattern to make. You have no idea how many if I can make that every day all day, I would. That is my favorite pattern to make. Yeah, Linda, sleeping in is a good thing. We don't ever really get to do that as adults. So get your sleep in. I know I wanted to come, but see the thing is my schedule works around my husband's. because of the kids. So I can't he asked for certain days off, and that's it. I have AwesomeCon, which is the biggest convention for me, this usually every year. That is, like, literally the week or 2 weeks before that, and I can't. There's just no way. So, but I'll be teaching the following month, and I'm teaching not 1, but 2 bags, so this is gonna be fun. Yes, the summit is sold out, but if I'm not mistaken, please follow Lauren because I think she said with Brittany, that they may or may not open up 10 slots. I'm not too sure, but just follow them. And I think ask questions like they're gonna when they do preps and they do so longs. I believe when they did the prep, they mentioned that when they were edge painting. I believe so. Brittany's on here. She can correct me if I'm wrong. I wish I could do all of them too. Oh, the kids craft cat keychains and the pony beads. That's so sweet. Yeah, the TikTok thing is kind of unfortunate. Like, there's a lot of people that make their money on TikTok, and that's just I'm not a huge TikTok person. I have a TikTok account by name only because my 14-year-old was like, well, if you get bigger on YouTube, somebody will take your TikTok name. So for namesakes, I take it. And then when people send me links, I'll watch it. But I do watch YouTube, our YouTube shorts. I know a lot of YouTube shorts are actually TikToks or I'll watch reels. But I don't like it that if someone has made, content creating is a form of art. Content creating is a business on its own to try to steadily create content so that your content that your not customers, but your following is, happy with it and stay relevant is a whole thing on its own. So I feel that taking that income away takes so much money away from individuals, and I thought, if I'm not mistaken, it was, like, billions of dollars last year that it was m more than like, so much money was made last year, and they're taking away from people's pockets that are showing their creative outlet and their version of art, so I'm not a big fan of that, and, for them to take that away, I'm like, can they take away will they take away other forms? I mean, because remember Vine was kinda taken away, and this is it's kind of a little bit bigger it's bigger than what it seems. Like, I understand a lot of people are like, "Yeah, take it away because they can do things that are not appropriate, they don't have the same rules or regulations that YouTube and Facebook and Instagram has." But instead of taking away, why not just put rules and regulations on it? Like, I'm not understanding. I know, I'm hoping it will be. I'm really excited about it. I'm like, "Yeah." I've always wanted to do Aura Rosa weekend. Like, Alexis is, like, hands down, like, in my top 3 favorite designers. She's, like, the one of the coolest people I've ever met, and she's so down to earth, and the patterns that she creates just looks like they belong in Saks Fifth Avenue, and then she, like no matter how many times I test for her, like, she always comes up with something that I'll be like, "Damn, she just taught me something new." And, like, I love testing with for her because of that. It's never like me not looking taking the pattern pieces and putting it together because I can do that with a lot of bags. You give me the pattern pieces, I cannot have to look at the pattern and put it together. All I need to know is a seam allowance. With Alexis, it's always looking at her pattern and learning. And that's why I'm always expressing like, hey, there's when a designer comes out with a pattern and you're like feeling like kind of unsure about your sewing skills, get the pattern because the pattern might teach you something that you never knew before because each designer has their own particular niche in their own way. So always do it. Yes, Alexis is very uniquely talented. Same with Maggie 55. I'm that person that prints out the 100-page pattern that she has, and I'm just like, yeah, let's soak it in. I like like every single time. Like I have like a section on this wall over here that are just Maggie 55 patterns that are bound in books because they're just they're she like, I think if Sue ever reached out to me, I might, like, fangirl, like, if Michael Jackson, rest in peace, reached out to me because she's like Like Sue is like right Sue, but Alexis and Erica and Shannon literally kind of have that same flow as Sue to me, where they just their their patterns just like really speak to me. That more in depth, I notice the more in depth the pattern is, the more pages the pattern is, I usually like fangirl over them. I'm that weird person that likes novels that have like 1,000 pages in it. I don't know why, I just do. And like car threads, just so many people that are like spewing knowledge, and I'm about to print your pattern today, Brittany, because I'm behind cutting out and edge painting, so I really want to finish this bag this month. And I thought, I've never seen a bag pattern that was shaped as a cat, so I'm curious. I have an idea for it. I can't tell anybody because if someone takes my idea, I get salty. So so I have an idea, and I just need to get the pattern to make sure it goes together the way I want it to, and then I can go from there. So yeah, they do. They have like this thing. They just it just like appeases me. Like there, but I find all designers have it. Like right now, in my Patreon group, we're doing the Dreamer Pack from Fierce Kitten, and I like the way she explains the 3D pocket. A lot of people want to do a 3D pocket, but they can't. And there are patterns that have it, but they most of them kind of gloss over the issues. Like you should know how to put it in. And I think she did a pretty good job explaining it. And I'm excited to do that part with on Thursday with Patreon, because it's like, yeah, we're gonna get to do like what people are afraid to do. And once they do it, they're gonna be unstoppable. They're gonna put 3D pockets on absolutely everything. So, it's I love when you learn a new skill and then you can apply it to anything and everything. Like I say, bag patterns are designers are architects. They design these beautiful houses. Now, when you buy the house, it's you can knock down a few walls and create it and make it your own. And this is what's gonna happen. So yeah. What I'm gonna put the 20% off on um Naturally Nerd Naturally Nerd's planners. I do think this is a really cool thing. I bought this one myself. I can't show you the formula because I open it up because that just gives you too much. But it has like this really cool thing. Like my favorite, without showing you the other page, each page has like notations that you will like to change and reference, and then you put the picture of your finished project. If you remember me, um I bought like a Kodak thing where I could print out pictures from my bags for my cell phone, and then what you can do is you can print it out, put it right here. And what I like about this is when I go to a convention, if someone's like, hey, I like this bag, but I wish it was like this. Like in my Patreon, we turned this into a backpack. And they're like, hey, I wish it was like a backpack. I can probably whip this out and be like, I turned it into a backpack or something. Also, I don't know. My first interview, I'm still on a high, and it could be because Jenna was really sweet, but she was dropping knowledge left and right in that group, and um it was a really awesome interview, and I can't wait to do my another interview in February. My theme for this year's Patreon is the Sewing Secret Society, and I'm trying to break down barriers and walls that people gatekeep, so that way people can either become a micro business, a better hobbyist, or a business altogether. So that is the theme. Last year was Camp Novi. This year is the Secret Sewing Society. So that is the thing for this year, and so far it's been starting with the bang. I'm really appreciative. So I wish everybody a really good and happy Sunday. And again, if a it's sewing society, like sewing and then society. Yeah, it's just like a nickname. I do themes. I try to do themes now for my thing. for my Patreon. Last year I did camp badges for different things, and this year it's breaking down walls. Like, so I don't know. I just wanted a society that that people have an opportunity to talk to people individually so they can break down barriers, walls, and they can become better. So everybody, like Christine said, stay warm, check on vulnerable people, check on the elderly, make sure you get your prescriptions. Please look after pets. If you see vulnerable pets, please call the society. I will put the code to the planner inside of my description box the minute I get off of here because I forgot to bring my tablet downstairs. I don't know why. I'm batting 100. So, I'll put the code to the she was kind enough, Jenna was kind enough to extend you guys the offer to have the discount off of any either or of the planners or even a digital planner. So, I will put that in there, and that is it. I hope everyone has a really great Sunday. Stay warm. Bye.